Hi there. My name is Tercy Engelhardt, and I want to welcome you to the Unreasonably Grateful podcast, Living in Grace by Choice. So, I've done this for a lot of weeks now. This is actually episode 208 or something like that. And it's funny, my husband says to me, "How do you keep coming up with things to say?" And really, I try to just sit and listen um, a little while before I start to record to just see like what is there that wants to be said is more how I look at it rather than what do I want to say. It's how can I be used? What do I hear that wants to be expressed? So anyway, welcome. Some of you have been with me for 200 plus episodes. Others of you may be listening for the very first time, and some of you may have been just for a short while or part of that time, but wherever you are on that spectrum, I want to welcome you. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for being a part of my journey and letting me share some of my story with you. And thank you for inviting me into your journey as well. This is a shared journey. None of us recover those broken off pieces of ourselves all by ourselves. And I know I learned things about myself by listening to other people's story. And that's why I started this podcast. It was in the early COVID years. And people were more isolated. I think people have gotten back out again, and there's lots more podcasts to listen to. And I've kept this pretty simple. It's tidbits of wisdom that I've gleaned over my 38 plus year of recovery after 20 years of living an addictive lifestyle, for me recovering from teenage sexual abuse and then surviving really with an eating disorder for 20 years, and now my 38th year of recovery. So I was writing in my newsletter, I think the other day, there is a newsletter on tercyengelhardt.com, and I was thinking about those 20 years when I couldn't make it a single day without my life being distracted and interrupted by food and that destructive lifestyle that I was in. And now, 38 years, it's hard sometimes to wrap my head around. Um, anyway, if you're new, I'm grateful that you're here and a part of us. I want to remind you that I don't have your answers. I believe that you do, but sometimes when we reflect with other people, our answers kind of bubble up to the surface and we get our next step or, yeah, maybe sometime a new direction to move in a new direction, whatever that may be. So I hope that you get something from this that eases your journey or excites you and encourages you along. And I know that on the other side of recovery, there's a whole world, there's a whole new you to live out and embrace. And it's not without its challenges, believe me, um, but it's a healthier, wholesome, happier you. So I hope that you discover who that is and you embrace more of it as you move along on your journey. Also on Tuesday mornings, and there's no magic to Tuesday morning. It just worked out in my schedule. I'm currently still a farmer. I milk cows and make cheese. I'm actually a cheesemaker. I was teaching a class today to a group of herbalists from actually, they're from all over the world, but the teacher is from Southern California. And I was saying, once again, I'm building a business. I'm in my 70s and I'm building a business. And I realize I have to create the identity of cheesemaker. I have to let people know in the community that's what I am. Um, just like when you write a book, you're an author. Or when you start a podcast, you're a podcaster. And you have to promote that, let people know. So yeah, I make cheese every day. And what I love about making cheese is you're never an expert. It's a fermented food and there's so many variables: the weather, the temperature, the time, the salt, the water, the cows, the milk, the grass they eat. And I think I love that. I love that consistent and constant challenge that keeps me engaged. Well, I think that's a big part of what recovery is every day is a constant challenge. I think life is, if we look at it that way. And it's an opportunity for us to learn something about ourselves if we slow down enough and don't just get into automatic. So, anyway, Tuesday mornings, I offer individual sessions where really what I do is sit and hold space for you and you share with me whatever it is that you want to share with me. And as an elder, I can reflect back to you what I see and what I hear and who you are coming across this virtual expression of you. And it's such an honor to acknowledge and appreciate the growth and the journey that you're on, and to champion you. So, if that's something you're interested in, it's on a donation basis. You can sign up on tercyenglehart.com, or if you know someone who you think would be interested, uh, refer them there. Okay. So, thank you. This particular episode is called What You Say to Yourself Matters. So, I want you to consider that we're always talking to ourselves, whether you're aware of it, whether you do it out loud, whether you do it silently. There's often and almost always a conversation going on about ourselves to ourselves. And I want to suggest that what you say matters, that it makes a big difference. Again, in this class that my husband and I were teaching today, I was saying, if you pay attention when you look in the mirror, we're usually looking for what's out of place, what's wrong. Um, whether that's, do we have a pimple? Is our hair out of place? Do we need to wash it? Um, how's our makeup? Wrinkles, whatever it is, right? Your clothes, your shoes, your body. We kind of use the mirror as an objective object to judge ourselves, to critique ourselves. And I want to suggest that we don't often encourage or acknowledge ourselves, and we could. So, just like I've done probably a few episodes on acknowledgement where we're calling forth the best in other people, where we're acknowledging them for a way of being, for a quality that we all possess, whether it's expressed or not, because those qualities that are expressed are the ones that are acknowledged, and they've been acknowledged probably throughout your lifetime, or you've trained yourself to acknowledge them or your community. And the ones that aren't expressed are the ones that lay dormant, that aren't acknowledged, that aren't seen or appreciated. And when we acknowledge someone, I want to suggest that some people think, oh, to acknowledge somebody for something you can't see is to manipulate. And that's very different. Manipulation is doing something to get a particular result. Acknowledgement is acknowledging something in someone else to realign your vision with who they truly are. But the acknowledgement that I'm talking about in this particular episode is of yourself, is what is it that you say to yourself about you? Where do you have perhaps still on this journey of recovery from some either deep seated regret or remorse or shame or embarrassment or judgment of you because you're amazing? And, we grow up in a culture that says to say so is egotistical or self centered. But I want to suggest that it's healthy to see how perfectly you're made and the beauty and divinity in yourself, in and of yourself, and to be grateful for it, whether that's to your parents or a creator or to yourself for caring for yourself and taking care of yourself, to, yeah, express gratitude. Um, so I want to encourage you to pay attention this week to the words that you use to yourself about yourself, whether they're silent, out loud, in frustration, however it is that you speak of and to yourself. And see if you can't shift and spend some time acknowledging and appreciating yourself for qualities, for ways of being, for those divinely ordained aspects of who you are, whether you recognize it and feel like you've spent time developing them or not. If you're new in the recovery journey, perhaps you haven't. And you may have more recent memories of yourself as you lived out an abusive or addictive lifestyle. If you've been in it for a while, in recovery for a while, perhaps you've developed a new representation of who you are, but still fall short of really the divine blessing, the amazing creation, the version of you that there is none other exactly like. And if it doesn't get expressed in the world, we all will be missing it because you matter. And I want you to consider this week that what you say to yourself matters, and start saying kind and encouraging and loving things to you and about you. Okay? And I'll see you here next week.